Oh, I wish I could get motivated to just do something. Maybe there'd be like a magic spell that someone can give me or magic pill. I just feel like sometimes I just can't do anything. I just can't get motivated. What's wrong with me?
We're walking and talking. We're walking and talking. We're walking and talking. We're walking and talking with Helen Ryan.
Right now, we're just going to take it kind of easy and moderate and keep your breathing going. Today, we're going to talk about motivation, but we're going to talk about creating motivation, manufacturing motivation. And yes, you can do that. I learned that, so I wanted to share it with you. So motivation is what happens when your dopamine levels in your brain spike because you anticipate something important is about to happen, right? So dopamine is kind of like the drug before the drug. So if your drug is exercise, then dopamine is that little drug just before the exercise. It's the anticipation of the positive experience that's to come. So if you're doing burpees and you hate them, you're not going to get that positive experience. So you're not going to get that dopamine rising up before you start to do them because you're going to be crying instead. And that's not, although, crying does also release different chemicals, but that's not exactly what you're looking for. So go a little bit faster. I'm going to try something new in a little bit. I'm going to actually set a timer that has a beeper on it so that you'll know when our little efforts are going to start and stop. And you can tell me if you like that better or not, and then we'll change it or leave it for future episodes. Just relax those shoulders now and keep breathing. Release this feel-good chemical while you're having a good time, but also in anticipation of having that good time. So, for example, if you love coffee like me, your body releases dopamine not just when you're drinking the coffee, but when you smell it, when you're walking past your favorite coffee shop, or even when you just see coffee. You feel that little rush, a little bit of thrill, like, oh my God, it's coffee. It's coffee. So that's exactly how that works. So it actually comes just before. Pick up some speed now. So our brains are really cool, and they can be trained to feed off those bursts of dopamine that are sparked by rewarding experiences. So if you really like something, we can train our brain to go ahead and anticipate that even more, and then you kind of bounce that off into other activities. Pretty awesome, right? So one way that you can get these rewarding experiences is by setting like little goals, small goals. So dopamine will get flowing, as kind of like a positive reinforcement every time you complete something and kind of meet a challenge. So when you start with those little steps, you're going to actually, and you complete those little steps, that's dopamine also flows as a reward system. So when you do those little steps, you're actually going to be releasing little hits of dopamine along each of those steps. So for example, if you were going to go for a walk and maybe you're not really feeling it, but maybe you can set a little small goal and you can go, I'm going to go to this post. And then maybe can I do it? Can I run? Can I run to the next post? And then maybe you run to the next post. And then that's your like reward. Like I did it. I ran to the next post. Kind of tell yourself that and give yourself that reward. And then your dopamine will actually start flowing because you made a little goal and then you met that goal, right? Isn't that cool? It's like so totally, I don't know. I think our brains are pretty awesome. Okay, now we're going to pick up some pace again, and you're going to go for 3 minutes this time. So tell me if you like this little doohickey over here, because it helps me not having to stare at the clock when you're doing your intervals. So 3 minutes, I don't know if you can even hear it, but 3 minutes is what we're going to do faster now. It's not like super fast, but you're going to be uncomfortable at this point. Remember to relax your hands and also relax your jaw and really go brisk. But another way to hack your dopamine is actually with foods. Dairy foods like milk and cheese and yogurt. See, brunost is actually in there. Unprocessed meats, like, I don't know, beef, chicken, turkey. So I would say probably not like the really processed lunch meats. Omega-3, this is gross. Omega-3 rich foods like salmon and mackerel. I'm like, I've always hated seafood, so I'm like, scratch that off the list. And then eggs, fruits and vegetables, in particular bananas, and nuts like almonds and walnuts. One of my favorite, of course, is macadamia nuts, but then I eat the entire container, and yeah, so we'll talk about that later. Dark chocolate, and lots of protein, and then some probiotics. All of that will help work together to naturally raise your dopamine. So it'd be really cool, but it doesn't exactly work this way, as if we made banana bread and then we threw walnuts in there. But a lot, mostly they recommend that we kind of avoid alcohol, caffeine, and processed sugar. But I guess you can make the banana bread with like applesauce. Applesauce would be good, and that does not have processed sugar in it. So I wonder if banana bread with walnuts would actually increase your dopamine, and then put a few dark chocolate pieces in there. We just have the perfect recipe for success. Okay, we got about 25 seconds. I want you to push it a lot harder now. Shoulders are relaxed, hands are soft. Shake out your hands. Stay with me. 5 more seconds. 5 more seconds. And release it. Slow it down. Did you like the beeps? Okay, slow it down a little bit. Not too slow though, because we didn't do a big interval. But just keep breathing. And hang with it for a bit here. A little recovery, and then we're going to pick it up again. So I'm going to link you to the different kinds of foods in the show notes for this. And think about what you could do to actually add these different foods to your diet, and how many can you add at the same time. When they talk about probiotics, they also mention like fermented foods, so like sauerkraut, different things like that. So I'll also give you more information on that. But that way, you could make a dopamine-rich diet, and maybe that would give you a little bit more motivation. Who knows, right? There's something called velvet beans, which has like a precursor to dopamine in it. But since I don't know enough about that to recommend it, I'm going to say look into it on your own if you want, and just evaluate any risks with any benefits. Because I'm not a doctor, even though I play one on this podcast. Okay, pick up a little more pace now. One more time. 3 minutes. It's a little bit of a push. Motivation can be kind of elusive, and it's kind of like that movie line, I'll have what she's having. Like you want some of that motivation, but where do you get it? Well, now we know we can get it through food. And then you can get it through anticipating exercise. And you can also get it by doing small milestones in your exercise. So small steps, as we always say. And then music. Music is really important, and it's a way to increase your dopamine levels. But you want to find music that you like and music that you really enjoy. Music that gets you moving, gets you motivated. It doesn't matter what it is. And I'm not sure that classical piano works, but maybe it does. I have not done enough research on that. 2 more minutes. Push a little faster. But if you want to get in the mood for something, blast some music that you love, even in your earphones. Sunlight is a miracle worker in more than one way, so it also works really well with dopamine levels. And, a lot of times we don't have sun, and I'm not sure if, those UV lamps, if they work the same, but I certainly think that it can't hurt to look into that. But sunlight will also help increase your dopamine levels. And even if you just get out for like 2 minutes, if you're really stressed, have you ever noticed that when you just go outside just for a minute or two and just stand in the sun and feel the wind on your skin and just take a deep breath in, and you just suddenly feel so much calmer? Those are the moments that your body is relaxing and it's releasing chemicals to reduce your stress and make you feel better. So try to incorporate those moments through your day whenever you can. And if you're walking with me outside, hopefully you may be getting a little bit of sun, although it's not sunny everywhere yet. Okay, we've got about 50 minutes. No, 50 minutes, 50 seconds. So I got 50 minutes left of this interval. That'd be a really long walk. Okay, 45 seconds. Now I want you to push it harder. Swing those arms. If you're doing this at home, really start to pump those arms and bring your knees up a little bit. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, we got about 15 more seconds, and go. Here you go. Really fast, strong. Keep breathing. Relax your shoulders. Hold on to it. And you're done with that one. Great. Take a little break here. Because these aren't like super fast, but they are enough, and we push it up a little bit at the end. So increasing your dopamine is actually tied to accomplishments. So when we talked about just a little bit ago how you set little goals and then you meet those goals, you accomplish those goals, that can work for a lot of things. And when you do something that you normally wouldn't do or that's a little bit challenging, something you want to be motivated for next time, just tell yourself how good you feel. When you've worked on a really hard project or when you've done something physical that was a little bit more of a challenge, really get in that moment and see how your body feels and feel that little bit of pride and accomplishment. That's what you want to remember, because that's going to then help you the next time you want to do something. You go back, you remember that feeling, and you kind of get that dopamine flowing so you'll be ready for next time. And right now you're thinking, if there is a next time, but there will be. So now we're going to do one more 45-second interval, and I want you to go really fast on this one. Get ready. Go. Push it strong, push it hard. Deep breath in. Good. Feel how good it feels to move your body. And that's also part of what we just talked about, the reward system. Exercise is not a punishment. Exercise is a reward. Your body needs it. Your health needs it. Your mind needs it for sanity. So really just find that happiness inside with your exercise. Okay, we got 15 more seconds. Push it hard now. As hard as you can go. As hard as you can go. Stay with it. Stay with it. And slow it down. We're going to do one more set in a moment. And I want you to just take another deep breath in. Shake out your shoulders. Okay, one more set of intervals now. Go. 45 seconds, push it hard. You can do this. And feel proud of what you did. Feel proud when you get home. If you're out walking with me or if you're working out at home, really push it. Feel proud of what you're doing here. That way you'll anticipate. Yep, you got it. You'll anticipate doing this next time because you know there's a reward. And part of the reward is that you're proud of yourself. And it's okay to be proud of yourself for something that maybe someone else would think is a smaller accomplishment, because it's a big accomplishment for you. And the fact that you're doing it is amazing. And that's the most important thing. Get ready, 5 more seconds, as hard as you can go. And release it. Nice job. Slow it down just a little bit now. We're going to take one more 3-minute. So breathe, relax your shoulders. And here we go. 3 minutes brisk, uncomfortable, but not a full-on sprint. So try some workouts that you actually look forward to that aren't even workouts. Why don't you try playing? See how this tricky thing works with the dopamine as a precursor to the exercise is that, like if you swim really hard and maybe you're not that fond of swimming, then you really don't want to do it and you're not going to feel motivated to do it. But maybe you should just go out in the pool and play. You can put on some music and go like up to your waist in water. What if you just dance for like 15 minutes? If you dance, have you ever tried to dance in the water? It's pretty hard. It's not that easy. So you can do that and it's really fun. Put on your favorite music in your earbuds, waterproof earbuds, and just dance around. Or why don't you play like some games in the pool? You can throw, discs and those plastic pool toys. You can play like water polo with your kids. Just start by playing. You can, play with your cat outside. You can play with your dog outside. You can play with your kids. Play ball, play hide and go seek. Start out with play. If you start out with play, then the next time you do something kind of similar, you'll get that little dopamine hit and you'll be ready and more motivated to go. Okay, we got about 1.5 minutes, so a little bit faster. What about hopscotch? I know I've had 2 kids. It's a little hard to do hopscotch, if you know what I mean. But still, hopscotch was fun, right? There's so many games that we can play and so many things that we used to do as kids that we can do now, and it's actually exercise. And if it's something you look forward to, it's all the better because then you'll be motivated to do something next time. Okay, we've got just over 1 more minute. Hold that uncomfortable pace. Shoulders are relaxed. Legs are strong. If you're playing in the pool with your kids or you're dancing in the pool, then next time you can do like maybe 10 minutes of dancing and 10 minutes of laps. And then the next time you can do 5 minutes of dancing, 15 minutes of laps. I think you should always keep the dancing in though, if that's something you enjoy. I think you should always do something you like. Not everything has to be burpees and planks and push-ups if you don't like them. There are so many ways that you can get exercise that are fun and yet really hard. But then your dopamine levels will rise and you'll stay more consistent and you'll be more motivated. I think that's pretty awesome. Play. We're never too old to play. And so many times we just stop playing. Okay, we got 10 more seconds. I want you to push it here now. Relax those shoulders. Shake out your hands. And now release it. Good job. Relax. Not too fast, not too slow. Take a nice deep breath in. So I will put all these tips together for you in the show notes so you'll know how to increase your dopamine and how to really get motivated. But feeling good about your accomplishments, making small little steps, starting with some kind of exercise that you like that doesn't even feel like exercise, eating different kinds of foods, including probiotics, lots of protein, fruits, vegetables, like bananas, nuts. I'll put all this together for you. And meditation, I haven't been big on meditation. I always felt like it had a little more like, I don't know, hippie-ish vibe, nothing wrong with hippies. But now I try to do meditations that have more practical applications. And also just, sometimes when I'm stressed, I just need to go away for a moment in my head, maybe to the beach where I'm really happy and just feeling the sand between my toes. And you can do meditation when you're walking too. You can put on maybe songs that you like, well, you like the beat, but maybe doesn't have any lyrics, or you can put on a meditation and just walk to that and clear your mind and really just try to focus inward. Because sometimes there's so much going on outward and we don't connect with our bodies inside. And so in our minds and everything is just so disjointed. So try that too. Try that, meditate before and during a walk. All right, slow it down a little bit more still. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. So earlier today, I was going to do an Instagram Live, and of course I didn't really know how to end an Instagram Live, so that was awkward, and I'm just standing there and I'm like looking, and I'm looking at the screen and I'm trying to figure out, how to stop the live, and then I just get out of it, and then I get back in, and I guess it goes to stories. See, who knew? Now I know. And that was only 5 seconds, so that actually worked for me because they didn't have to see me looking like a dork. It was kind of funny. There's so much stuff to learn every day, right? And there's so much technology, and this is where we need to disconnect a little bit. And that's why, like walking and listening to audio, especially if you can put your phone on Do Not Disturb, you'll be able to take that moment for yourself, and you'll be able to make your walk not only something that makes you fitter, helps you lose weight, burn more calories, but something that is almost like a little meditation moment for you, and a moment where you can just be quiet, without people always talking to you and nagging you, and, take that moment for you because it just gets so hectic. And slow it down just a little bit more. If you're walking indoors, you can just same thing, kind of bring everything down a little bit. If you did walk with me today when you're finished, you want to just stretch out a little bit, so your calves and maybe the front of your thighs, get a little stretch going on there. And you can do short walks, you can do longer walks. And if you want to walk to me more, you can put a couple of my walks together and you can just go out like for a super short walk. The most important thing is that you just keep moving and you keep smiling and you keep laughing. And you want to keep having fun. So if you try to add play to your life and play to your day, you'll actually be more motivated to work out and to work out harder and to do different things.